an emergency we're following, and it is still an emergency, very much so in North Queensland, folks. More than 1.2 metres of rain has fallen in some parts over the past 4 to 5 days. It is absolutely staggering. Joining us live again is the Queensland Premier David Crisafulli. Premier, thanks so much for your time on again a busy morning for you. So as we know, there is a difference between being briefed and actually being on the ground. How have you found it while being there?
There's some devastation here, Peter. Make no mistake about that. There's inundation in areas in places like Ingham that that community haven't seen for more than half a century, and it's going to take some time. And I want that community to know they matter, and we're going to do it. And you mentioned about the difference being on the ground. You're spot on. And my commitment to every single person impacted is I'm here to make sure that what we say we're going to deliver, that we actually will deliver. And we're going to be there in the days, in the weeks, in the months, and the years ahead. And that's the Queensland spirit. So just to the now, supplies are still an issue because Townsville's still cut off from the north and the south, as far as I understand. And there are supply issues extending all the way to Cairns. My mum sent me video of the local Woolies that the shelves are near empty, a lot of the shelves anyway. So what can be done to get these extra supplies in, and is that taking place? Yeah, supplies and electricity are the two big issues. There's no doubt about that. So to address both, the supermarket said they did pre-position some stock ahead of this. Now, how it goes from the distribution centre to the supermarket will be a challenge, but one that I'm confident can be overcome. You'll always have items that run out, of course, but it's essential that we do all we can to make sure that people can get those essentials. On the electricity front, there's now less than 10,000 households without power, which has just been a huge effort. We pre-positioned about 300 energy workers here from the southern part of the state to the north, and they've worked really, really hard, incredibly so actually, and so have the local crews. People were, in the case of Townsville, were only without power for a very short period of time, and they've reconnected a big chunk of them. The biggest issue remains Ingham. There's nearly 7,000 homes without power, and that is, for mine, a front and centre priority, because if you're cleaning up in a disaster, there's nothing worse than in hot and humid conditions not being able to get a night's sleep. So that's going to be a big focus. Now, the road is cut in so many places. There's a vision that I've seen from Olera Creek where a bridge has been torn in two. Now, firstly, we have to, the moment the water goes down, we've got to find a way to reconnect that and have a short-term solution. But we also need a long-term solution. And Queenslanders are tired of just seeing the same things replaced in the same location to the same standard and expect a different result. And I'm tired of it. And I want to see places like that for resilience to be built in, for betterment to be part of it. Let's spend a little bit more money, but let's do it properly. Okay. That road is a disgrace, and I've spoken a lot about that, and we finally secured, from both sides of politics in Canberra, an 80-20 funding deal, and we are going to deliver a highway that is no longer the disgrace that it is, the goat track of the nation. Yep, so just another one on the now, though, and I just had the Federal Treasurer, Jim Chalmers, a Queenslander, on this and asked about federal assistance, because we spoke to a resident in your family's home of Ingham last hour. She's not sure what's going to be salvageable in her home, so there's questions over insurance as well. So what assistance is available, and are you happy with the Fed's contribution? They've been very willing to work with us. They sent the federal minister to us. So this is a time of disasters. All levels of government have to pull together. To anyone who's impacted, there is the short-term assistance, of course, and that must flow. But in the long term, we have to make sure that individuals are helped, but more broadly the communities, and that involves also working with the councils. We've got to reconnect people. We've got to give them hope. We've got to throw the resources that are needed so people can see that change happening. And I'm going to be on the ground to make sure that occurs. All right, David Crisafulli on the ground there in Townsville for us. Thanks again for your time, Premier. We'll chat again soon.